Hey everyone, and welcome to the Multiboard Tile Learning Pack video. It's been specifically designed to teach you as many of the key concepts and connections of the multiboard tiles as possible. So with that said, it may come across as a little bit overly complicated because I've tried to pack in so much into this learning pack. Now don't worry, you don't need the pack to get started by all means. I want you to watch this video to help you get started with multiboard as a whole. You can follow along with the parts, without the parts, and everything is going to be linked down below of everything that I'm mentioning in this video. So without any further ado, let's dive straight into it. Starting off with, there are 4 different types of tiles, and here they are. We have the core tile itself, which as you can see has all of these parts right here. These are pegboard holes or small thread holes, and we've got them up here, and none on this one. There's the core tile, these are side tiles, and this is a corner tile. Now we're not going to go too much into installation here because for the much bigger builds I have an entire video for that, and that's going to be linked down below as well. Okay, anyway, this is the way that you want to have it, because if you have it in any other combination, well, things might not quite work out the way that we're wanting them to. So let's make sure that we have them in the way that we want, like that. And now, how do we keep this all together? Well, it's all based on a 2-part system, part A and part B. Many people tell me that I should just put these all together, but there's a reason why they are not together. Part A is the mount, or the backside. If you want to look at it as the backside, I don't look at it as the backside because, well, the tiles are technically mirrored, so it means that they could technically be in any direction. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the backside, or part A, of the quad mount right here, and I'm going to click these two together like so. So that's going to be going right there. I have all the doubles which will be connecting here and here, as well as here and here, and then I've got the singles that connect at all the top corners like so. Now, this can get a little bit tight. So for that, I have myself my trusty mallet. Do not worry too much. If you've printed it with the correct printing guidelines that are underneath all of the parts and packs, these are going to be able to take quite a bit of a beating. As you can see right here, I have a lot of weight hanging on this. I trust this. It's been up there for days now. It's not going anywhere. So let's move this all off to the side and let's actually get this together. I like to start always on the bottom left-hand side, and I'm just going to click this in like so. It's really nice, quick and easy. It should all fit in pretty simply in reality. So I'm just going to speed through this. There's no need to take too long with this part. And there is a directionality to these. There's little arrows on these here, which shows you the optimum weight bearing capacity direction for the part itself. And then we've got this quad part, which I'm just going to click in here. Brilliant. And then I'm going to do the same here, which I'm just clicking that into there. And we'll get these tiles here, and I'll just click the top of these all together. You can technically do this in any order for something this small, but when it gets to something a little bit bigger, you're going to always want to start from the bottom left-hand side and then move upwards. But again, installation video is somewhere else. Now, that's going to click in, that's going to click in. This one is usually the toughest part, and it's not clicking in, but I want to show you that it is totally possible by hand. So I'm going to just stand up, I'm going to put my palm down on it and press it down, and it'll fit in. Now it's, there we go. Now it's completely in, completely flush, and that is now the part A's are in place. So let's go back to what I was mentioning, which is the part B's. These are the parts that fit on top of the part A's. Part A's are the mounting options, part B's are the toppers. So here we go. Here's a part B topper for the quad. Again, I'm going to show you that you can do this by hand. You just push it down and it should fit in. If this is not doing that, I truly advise you to go and check your tolerances, because this is all based off a 0.25 millimeter tolerance, which means you should be able to get that with most 3D printers nowadays. There's a whole bunch of ways to improve your calibration of 3D printers, but that's for a different video altogether. So we're just going to put these all together here now. I'm just going to go along, click these all into place. I'll click this one up there as well, and we'll click this one down here. And you see that I haven't really cared too much about the orientation of those. That is because you can't go wrong with them. However, when it comes to the single ones, you technically can. If you take a look down on the bottom of here, there's actually a teeny tiny little square. And this square lines up with other squares. In fact, we have this entire lexicon here to go with all the parts in Multiboard. So if you ever seen these little symbols here and there, you'll see that they usually have a meaning to something. So I'm going to look down into these, and there will be a directionality inside of them. So this one, the square is on this side. So I'm going to get the square here, face the two squares next to each other, and that will fit together. If you try and do it the wrong way, one of these is actually slightly larger than the other way, because we have to keep the thread orientation that's on the top of these correct. If not, you're going to have a little bit of a problem when it comes to the threads. So let's just put this all together here. That one's in there. We'll do the same for this one over here, and just make sure that I'm getting this right. Yep, there it is. And we put that one in there, and then we're going to go over to here, and that one's in there. So here we go. That's the tile together and ready to go. Now, because I very much want to sort of show you this in action, here is where you technically can put it up on the wall. I'm going to just quickly screw this up now, because I want it onto my little demo board that I have here, just so that I can show you guys what's going on. So I've got some screws here. I'll just quickly get them in. You don't have to follow along for this part, but I just thought I would show you. And there we have it. It is now all mounted up. This is really strong on here, and that's not going to go anywhere at all. Okay, so let's now go through all the other things that are going through here, and why do we have this little towel over here. So first, before we move on, I want to show you how to remove these, because honestly, it's something that sometimes you've got to do. You want to get behind this tile. This here is the removal tool for offsets. We're going to just put this together like so. There's a little thinner part here. We slide those together. We get the little handle, and we chuck that handle on there. Now all you do is you extend this all the way down. Mine's not wanting, I've used this quite a bit already. You pinch these together to put them into a slot. I'm going to go for this one right here. Pinch them together, put it all the way down to the bottom. This is now hooked on. You put your hand above it, and you now just give it a good old pull. And there you have it. That's how quick and easy it is to take those off. When you're wanting to do it to a quad one, however, it gets a little bit more complicated, because at that point, you're going to want to go to one side, pull it out just a little bit. Then you're going to pull this back up, pinch it down, go to the other side, and then you're going to pull that one up a little bit as well. And then you'll go again to the other side. You're just sort of creeping it back and forth. Oh, make sure that I get this handle all the way up first. There to there, and pull that up, and you can see that's how you remove it. It's the same with the double ones sometimes, but just to be aware, that is how to remove it with this lovely removal tool. And you'll see that we have another removal tool which we'll talk about right now while we prep up this next little tile. So this next little tile, we're going to be using these brackets when we go into the next steps. So I want to prep it up. You'll see that we have some part A's and some part B's still left. And yes, this here is the double-sided snap. So we go and we'll just put the double-sided snap on the four corners that I have set up here. So we'll just go like this, put them all in, and then we'll go once again, looking inside of here, there's going to be all of those squares. And we're just going to go square to square, line it up, and just press them together. Brilliant. Once again, square to square, line it up, press it together. Square to square, line it up, and press that together. And once again, square to square, line it up, and press it together. Now, oh, see, I didn't do this right. See, I'm having a little bit of a hard time putting it in. So that means that I actually have this the wrong way around. Let me go the other way around. Oh, there we go. So if there's ever any friction going on, double check that you are putting it in the right way around. Okay, this is now ready for the next part. So the next part, we're going to actually be talking about a pretty interesting thing about the board. So the board has two main connection types, which is we can thread in or we can snap into it. Technically, every single hole on this board is a thread. So we can just get one of these. This is a small thread and we can just thread it into one of the peg holes. Or we could also get ourselves the medium thread here and that goes into those snaps. Or we can get ourselves the large thread and that goes directly into the large threads there. Now the other thing is that all of these are snaps. So we've got this here is a normal snap. It has all four things here of the snaps. That means you can just go anywhere, click it in, and it snaps into place. To pull it out, you can try and do it with your finger to try and get it out. Sometimes it's a little bit tricky to do that. So you can get yourself a medium thread and you can just screw that in and pull with the medium thread. Or if it's really stubborn, you can grab yourself the removal tool and you just thread this in. Now this thread is, the removal tool thread is made to be extra grippy, so expect it to do that. And just give it a nice little yank up. Now what's interesting about this removal tool is that it works with all of the snaps, especially these here, the DS snaps. You're going to look inside of it. There is the part B side, is the side this is designed for mainly. You go into the part B side, you go all the way till it feels quite tight. And then at that point, you'll be able to pull the part B from the part A like so. And then from there, you're going to have to take it back out. What I want to do is I'm just going to whack it back in, make sure that I'm in the right orientation, and then just thread myself back out because I have a better grip of that little snap from there. Okay, so that's that. That is a simple snap, but we have other types of snaps. We have the type of snap that can take weight. So there's a little tiny arrow on this right here. This snap here is the moderate weight-bearing snap. It is directional based. That little arrow means that, hey, it's designed to take the weight in that direction. And how do you put this in? Well, you have to go in at an angle like so, and then you snap it down. If you try and go in any other way, you're going to have a little bit of a hard time, but as you can see, you can pull it out pretty easily usually. Now there is one more, which is I always forget the name, the full name of this, and that's why I've got my phone here. And this is the heavy weight-bearing hooked snap. So you can see it has a nice little hook here. It prints like this. You unfold it, and then it's got that little hook. Once again, the way to put this in is you're going to go from one side, you're going to go down, and you'll snap it in. This has two arrows on it to show you that it's this way, and this one very much has a lot of weight-bearing capability. In fact, there's only two of these and the brackets holding an entire 15 kilogram weight behind me. So that is quite something to take on there. And now that we know threads, snaps, and all of that good stuff, let's go on to a very important thing to understand when it comes to multiboard, which is bolt locking. Now, bolt locking is a very interesting concept because it means that you can pretty much bolt something into place on the board without having to go to the back of it. So to do that, we're going to be using these brackets. And we're going to first go ahead and put these together. And of course, silly me, I've gone ahead and I haven't set this up correctly. So now you're going to have to use this here to screw in, make sure that you're going into the right side. You're going to be able to pull this out like so. And we'll go once again. I'll screw in from this side. Make sure that I have it nicely and pull out, and I'll have that there. So what I had wrong there is that I put them on all the corners. Didn't mean to put it on all the corners. I meant to put them right next to one another, because this is a 2x2. Goodness, what is it? That's a bolt lock insert bracket. So I'm pretty sure that's the name that I went with there. Excuse me. All right, so we're going to go here, put this all back together like so, and this here is going to go to this here. That presses in, but how do I keep that in place so that it doesn't come back out? So there's two main points that we are using here, which is the multi-point and the bolt lock fixer, or I think it's called the fixer. Again, these names, they take me a moment. I'm still getting my head completely around them because I've been using it all over the place and I haven't really figured out the names in my head. The part that we have here is a mid-hole bolt locker. There we go. That took me a while. Mid-hole bolt locker. Now, there is one other tool you're going to need. A coin. We're going for coins here because what we're going to do is we're going to put that into this little thread inside of there. Turn it a little bit. Use the coin to turn that bolt locker into place like that. And that is going to basically be flush and it's going to hold perfectly. We're going to do the same for the others. So I'm going to go here. We're going to bolt lock this one into the top of this as well. Go here, we bolt lock it into place, and we can do the same for the other one. So we're going to go here, press it in. Remember, I'm getting the bolt lockers, not the one that has the angled. It is very much the bolt locker ones. I'll give you a little closer shot of them now. So we're not doing the multi-points. That is the multi-point, the one that has an angled face to it. It is the bolt locker, which is more rounded in nature. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. So we're going to get all the bolt lockers, put them all into place. We're going to tighten them all up nicely. Brilliant. And now, how on earth do we attach this to that and bolt lock it in place? Well, the way to do this, and the best way to go about it, is getting a hook snap. You're going to put that hook snap up on the top here, and now snaps get bolt locked by multi-points. A multi-point goes into the back of a hook snap. Once again, we'll just put that in. We're going to then use a coin to tighten that into place. Don't have to go absolutely like insane with it, just enough that it holds in place. Don't worry that this rattles about. That's supposed to do that. We'll do the same for the other hooked one that we have here. Put that into place. We're going to get this. We'll fold this and put this all into there. So there we go. And we'll tighten that up. Perfect. And now, of course, we can't have hooked snaps on the bottom ones. We've got to have normal snaps on there. So this one is a normal snap, which we'll have right there. But hold on, let me think. Where exactly am I going to put this? Because where I'm going to actually put this, I think I'm going to aim for right here. So that means that I don't need more snaps? No, I don't need more snaps because I'm going to have snaps here and then they're going to go into here, and the weight bearing capacity is going to happen by the hooked snaps themselves. Now, to put in hook snaps, you pinch them together and then we're going to angle it in. So they're angled in like so, and then we're just going to give it a good little rock, make sure that they're going in the right way. They hook in, and then you've just got to give them a good push down, and there you go. There now, this is in. It's not going anywhere. And that there is how to place in this bracket. This is now incredibly weight bearing. That's how I've got that in. That just has two hook snaps and along with some other moderate weight bearing snaps in the middle. So I'm going to go and I'm just going to move this over here because I want to show you this special bolt here. This bolt here is a multi-board head bolt, and that means that this head is the same as one of the multi-boards in there. So it means that you can get yourself a normal snap and just snap that into the head. Just something to point out while we're doing all this. Of course, all of these, they can take a thread within a thread. And then we have these other strange things that are still floating about. Let's cover these in more detail. First, we have these two hooks. Now, they look the same, but they're mounted completely differently. This one is a friction fit insert. This is also used to be called a push fit insert, and it literally means that you just go to any of these and you just push it in, and that's how it holds in. Problem with that is that with time it does wear out. It's not great at how flexible it is when it comes to functionality, and it is only as strong as the snap itself. So we want to very much bolt lock that into place. Oh look, we have a moderate weight-bearing snap right here, so let's just go ahead and put that in there with the arrow up at the top. We have one more lovely little hook left here. Hook, multi-point, excuse me. I'm just going to screw that multi-point into the back of this hook, and now with that tightened in, it's ready to go in. So let's just pick a place. Let's go here. So again, I'm going in an angle because this is a moderate weight bearing one, and there we have it. That's now going to hold plenty going on there. And now we have two left, which is these strange bolts and these here. Now these strange bolts are specifically designed to be like this. These are called T-bolts. The name implies they look like the letter T, but these are specifically designed that when they're printed, they have the strongest orientation possible to hold as much weight. In fact, there's an entire video if you want to see some crazy things that are happening with this. I'll link it down below, but these things can hold so much weight. In fact, in my testing, I was able to get one holding like 80 kilos. It's insane. But just like every other thing here, you just can thread this in anywhere you want, go nuts with it. And they are a little bit trickier to go in because they are this T-shape. So you have to sometimes, my trick here is you find it, then you go backwards until you feel a little click. And that's where it is that you have to go in, and it'll thread in perfectly. So we'll just have that there. We'll put this one in there as well. And then lastly, we have these hooks. These are pegboard click hooks. So as the name ensues, you go to a pegboard hole, you put one side in, you click it in, and it's going to click in place. Once again, one side in, click it in, clicks in place. Now we can put that there. I can hook this up here. I can fling this about, and there you have it. That there is the multi-board multi-board tile starter pack all set up for you. Now this truly is just scratching the surface. There's so much more still to cover in the entirety of the system. In fact, the next one I would suggest you go and take on is this right here, which is the multi-grid starter pack. And then once you've got a little taste of what multi-grid can do, you can really go and dive into multi-point, which really elevates things to another level. All right then, thank you so much for watching. I cannot wait to see what you're creating, and be sure to join the community over at community.multiboard.io. And of course, keep making.